some of them have different characteristics. Some of them have characteristics of securities. Some of them have characteristics of commodities, of currencies too. So as an issuer, you can kind of pick and choose here. And I just wonder, even if as a regulator you try and ban one, they can kind of slip through the cracks. How do you enforce that ban?
So you're totally right, Julia. They are different. There are different things here. But what I'm talking about, and what Chairman Clayton was talking about when he testified before the Senate Banking Committee about 2 weeks ago, is ICOs. ICOs almost always are a company, as you said earlier, selling a token. And that token, what does it represent? It's not like a Bitcoin. A Bitcoin doesn't represent anything. It's a Bitcoin. And you can use it as a currency, and you can trade it with people who want to buy it from you for dollars. It doesn't represent anything. It's just a Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Whereas a token that you might buy in an ICO represents somebody's promise, the company's promise to make profits. And that is a security in most cases. Now, there is a little wrinkle in that some people are selling tokens and they're saying, in 2 years' time, this will be like Bitcoin. In 2 years' time, you won't have my promise. You'll have a token that is usable on a decentralized network, like digital gold or digital fuel. Now, there might be a gray area in the law where that transition takes place. This was a security, and now suddenly it's a digital commodity. And there may be a gap in who regulates those digital commodities once they actually are properly decentralized, once they are commodities. Now, I think that gap gets filled either by the states through money transmission licensing, which a lot of exchanges already do. They get licensed. But I think it's more interesting if that gap gets filled by having a new federal regulator like the CFTC.
Peter, I just want to get some perspective here. What is the volume of ICOs that has been issued so far? And are there projections for the volume that there could be going forward?
And what % do you think are fully lawyered and regulated? Sorry.
No, please. I love it.
No, so I can't give you total aggregate numbers. That's not something CoinCenter tracks, but I can give you some anecdotal examples that are helpful to think about. There is an ongoing token sale for something called Telegram, which is an existing platform for encrypted messaging, which rather stunningly has already raised $800 million.
Oh my God.
I'm not going to comment about whether they're adequately lawyered because it's not my business and I haven't looked sufficiently at it. And they're projected to maybe raise as much as $1.8 billion in total, which is stunning to me. Like, I started working at CoinCenter, which is a little nonprofit focused originally only on Bitcoin 4 years ago. You told me this was happening, I would have laughed in your face. So I think it's a little crazy. And then for other anecdotal perspective, you can look at, say, Filecoin out of a group of developers called Protocol Labs. Filecoin raised almost $200 million last summer, and I think they've taken, I'm confident to say, a very safe, lawyered approach. They sold their tokens only to accredited investors in a Regulation D Rule 506 filing with the SEC.
So yeah, if you're going to get into the ICO market, just be very, very careful, because they bring up a good point where a lot of these ICOs are not following the regulations. But if you yourself can understand some of these regulations, and then when you're doing your research on the ICO, it's going to really help, you know, figuring out whether they really did lawyer up, or do they really get accreditation, or, you know, are they only selling to accredited investors? So this kind of research is really going to help you out if you are going to take the gamble and trying to go for the smaller ICO coins. For me personally, I don't have the time and I don't want to do the due diligence, so I try to stay with the top 20. Now I do take like 5%, and you know, I have friends in crypto that will be like, hey, like, I think this is great or that, and you know, maybe off of the anecdotal evidence, I'll you know, maybe go on a couple ICOs. But for the most part, I steer clear. But if you're going to be doing it, make sure you do some research, because it is the Wild West, and a lot of them do not care about regulations. And that's one reason too they avoid US investors. But good luck, and it looks like we're getting a little bull run in the crypto market, so that's always a good way to start our Friday. Let me know what you guys think, and please subscribe to the channel, and I will talk to you guys soon.